How's it going, Oceanside? I'm Eric Valencia.
And I'm Natalia Canchon.
Welcome to the annual EC takeover of the Oceanside Spectrum. Nice change of scenery for us at ECTV, huh, Nat?
Yeah, it's pretty fancy in here.
Yeah, man, a real studio to talk all things EC. What's not to love?
And who's better to do it than our own, from our Wildcat country, ASB President Natalie Lopez.
Hey, Natalie, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I wanted to start you off with sort of just an easy question. How did you end up here in this seat today, or rather, how did you end up as the ASB president for the year of 2024 through 2025?
Well, I am the former junior class president. I stepped up to be junior class president just because we didn't really have one at the time, and coming into ASB, I knew I wanted to give juniors like a better voice and a better say in like our homecoming theme and our homecoming show, because our homecoming show is probably one of the best in the counties, as most people have seen. We love having the floats and just the dance itself. So I wanted to come in and just do that and then hopefully run for ASB president, which I did, and now I'm the ASB president today.
I know that being ASB president must be really nerve-wracking, but what's it like being passed the torch from former president Lily Tata?
I love that Lily was just so helpful when I won and stuff. Like whenever I have questions, like she's always willing to help me out, and just like seeing her and just following her, like she's just such a helpful person.
So you mentioned earlier that you sort of stepped up to be the ASB junior president. Would you define yourself as a leader because of that?
Yes, just because like we didn't have one at the time, and then we had very few juniors in the class, so it kind of just like we kept going back and forth if we were going to do an election or if just somebody in the class was just going to step up. So I just got to the plate and I was just like, I'll do it.
And what does leadership look like to you?
Just being able just to lead the class and just like put everybody's ideas into perspective and just like take everybody's ideas into account, and just also including our student body. Like when it comes to like events, we want to include them more. So just having everybody like just put in their say.
Could you maybe talk to us about like what you see for the future of El Camino and what you're going to implement for the new school year?
We hope to just have a great homecoming this year, obviously, including more of like our sports and pep rallies, having more intramurals. Like I know Powder Puff is coming up, so we're really excited to be included with that with football. So just more like stuff like that, just bringing up the school spirit, building up our student section just to make it more fun, and just making those Friday nights just super exciting.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Natalie. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
As we wrap up this year, I really can't believe that we're seniors.
Yeah, dude. It's like really surreal to me. It feels like yesterday I was just behind that middle camera right there helping out with the filming for the host last year. Now I'm up here. What a come up, man.
It's unbelievable, but honestly, in 4 months, I'm heading off to UCSB. I'm pretty nervous.
I'm so proud of you for that, dude. I know you're going to kill it up there, man.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Of course.
And with that, you guys, let's check out the highlight reel of all the memories that we've had this year.
to KOCT's High School Spectrum.
I'm Aiden, and this is Nate, and today we're interviewing the Cheercats, CIF, and Nationals winning Coach Shannon Morrell.
All right, thank you guys.
Hello, Coach Shannon. Thank you so much for being here today. Would you mind telling us a bit about what it was like preparing for Nationals and CIF?
Yeah, absolutely. So preparing for CIF and Nationals, it was pretty strategic. It's planning, getting the team together, looking at the schedules, especially with it being going in December and January, also working around school schedules and everything of that nature. So it was just really looking at our talent, our skills, and then where we could fit those practices that were necessary. And so we did a lot of our practices on Monday and Wednesdays, breaking down what exactly we were going to be doing for those competitions and looking at the score sheets from previous and just planning that way. So it's easier to say than what we were actually doing, but yeah, I have a pretty awesome team, and so those students were willing to work hard. And when you have a crew of athletes who just want to work hard, show up, do the work, it's so easy to coach them. So I would say even them showing up, missing, getting out of work or planning around their vacations and everything of that nature is pretty awesome. So yeah.
Naturally, these are really large events with a little bit of anticipation about them, right? Was there anything you were looking forward to when going to Nationals, like something you were expecting?
Absolutely. I only go to win, honestly. I practice to win. I mean, why not? If you're going to go to Nationals, you do go to work hard. And so the whole goal was to do our best. We do something where we practice to such a degree that you can't mess it up. And that's what we were doing. And so up until the week before practice, I saw that the team was doing really great. So we were actually able to cut out a couple practices so we wouldn't have any injuries. But the whole goal was to go and win. So, yeah.
And what was going through your mind and the minds of your athletes when you first showed up to an event like Nationals?
Oh, it was so many people that were there, different teams from different states. And truly, it was just really about us coming together as a cohesive group, doing what we know how to do and doing nothing different. So that was really it. So, yeah.
So you said you weren't doing anything different for Nationals. Did you not have like a special routine prepared or something like that for Nationals, something different than what you normally do?
Yeah, absolutely. So we went in, we did compete in two categories. We had our co-ed group in game day, and then we had our band chant, which is where we won. And so we did win with that routine a couple years ago. Actually, when we competed for the first time, we won Nationals, I think it was about 2 years ago, and we didn't compete the last year. And then we came back and cleaned up that routine, and we knew it was a winning routine, and I had a great group that could make it happen.
Thank you so much for taking the time with us, Coach Shannon. We really appreciate hearing your story from Nationals.
All right, thank you.
Earlier this year, we sat down with star player and starting lineman Taj Tavali. Let's check that footage out.
Easy just on me! Easy just on go! Ready, go! E! Wildcats! E! Wildcats! H! Wildcats! F! Wildcats! E! C! H! S! E! C! H! S!
I love getting to go out with all my cousins and friends and just being able to go and dominate on the field. I consider them all my family at this point. Like we honestly grew a brotherhood over this season, and it's been very fun. On campus, I have a lot of people that I'm close with, but I feel like football has that different kind of like mindset where we're all just like one big family. One of my best moments, it'd probably have to be the homecoming game, and that's because I feel like we really wanted that comeback and we had to work hard to get it, and I feel like that was the most team effort thing that we had to do this year. And it was just really cool for us to get that win for the school and for us as a family. I feel like there's times where like things can happen on the field and it gets a little hectic, and just having each other's backs and knowing that we have each other's backs definitely brings like a feeling of safety, I guess you could say.
With Taj Tavali, I'm Jackson Kirkwood with ECTV.
Welcome back, Oceanside, to KOCT's High School Spectrum of ECTV edition. I'm Chloe Hewson, news producer for ECTV.
And I'm Victor Chavarria, sound mixer and cameraman for the news segment.
In the studio today with us, we have Ozzy Willis from the band Living Dead Friends.
Thank you so much for coming into the studio today with us, Ozzy. Tell us a little bit about your band.
It first started in Mr. Boris's class with our rock band club, And it was just me and Curtis at first. He's the drummer, and we played a little bit at lunch, and we practiced in his garage. And then after us playing a little bit, people saw us at lunch, and they stopped by, checked it out, and then that's how we got Logan. He started playing bass for us, and then after we just played at lunch still, we didn't do anything big. And then after that, a little bit, probably like 2-3 weeks later, we found Casey, and he was going to come play rhythm guitar for us. And then Casey, just one random day, he was just like, "Can I play your bass, Logan?" And he was like, "Sure, why not?" And then he started doing all like the cool stuff on the bass where you like slap it and like do the plucky thing. I don't know anything about bass, but he does that kind of stuff. And we were like, "Dude, you got to play bass." So then they just switched spots. So then Logan started playing the guitar.
That's so cool that you guys are able to find each other in the band, but how would you describe your style of music for the band, and is there anyone that inspires you and the group?
The things that we actually like write ourselves, and then the things that we cover are like two completely different genres of music. I don't know how it happened, but it's really weird because the things that we write are super heavy. They're in like E flat, drop C sharp tunings. It's like Avenged Sevenfold type riffs, and then the style of soloing is from like Kirk Hammett from Metallica and Dimebag from Pantera. But then the things that we cover are like the mellower stuff. It's not mellow, but it's like not metal. It's like Green Day type stuff and grunge, and our drummer loves Smashing Pumpkins, so we have to play Smashing Pumpkins every time we play.
That's really interesting. I didn't realize you guys had so many inspirations. So tell me though, what kind of gigs do you guys play?
So far, we've only played like open mic type stuff where you can just walk in and sign your name on a paper, and they just let you play a few songs. We've played a few songs at the school's basketball games during halftime and play a few at the end. And we play really just around my neighborhood because it's a gated community, and we can play in like the clubhouse thing there. And then our first like real gig isn't actually until this coming Friday.
That's so much fun that you guys just have fun just playing around and doing stuff, especially in your gated community. But what do you have some advice for people who want to start music or get back into it?
It's really just a bunch of practice. It's like 75% practice, and then when you can finally actually play the instrument, you have to find a band, and then it's more practice with them because you have to get everybody's groove, try to sync with everybody. And then the best thing that helped me was actually playing with other people, because if I was playing something, he could be like, "No, dude, you got to do it like this." And I'm like, "Oh, that makes it so much easier." So having somebody there to like give you some pointers and show you some cool stuff is really nice too.
Thanks a lot, Ozzy.
There's a lot of music in EC.
Yeah, I know. With both of us being musicians, it's nice to see some other musicians come out of the woodworks.
Let's learn more about music at El Camino as we hear from our Golden Pride drum major, Angelo Piccolo. Year after year, a new drum major and leader is chosen for EC's marching band. This year, that is Angelo Piccolo, a senior on campus.
So he went through a interview process, and which included a like in-person interview, and then also letters of recommendation, and then also a tryout, a conducting tryout.
I really appreciate the position that he gave me. I had to write a whole essay about it, about why I think I'm qualified. I had to do the basic commands and pretty much just show that I'm going to be a good captain this year.
I've known Angelo since elementary school, so I would say during the beginning of marching band, it was funny because he was like the drum major and stuff, but he like really locks everyone into the practices and stuff, so that it helps everyone out. So yeah.
He's definitely helped me improve since the beginning of the school year and even before that. It's very helpful, and I appreciate it.
Marching band has enhanced my skills in music and choreography. I've learned a lot of music over the years.
Angelo's overall helped me control my dynamic and overall wellness of performance.
I will probably be doing DCI, which is Drum Corps International, which is like international marching band. So I'll probably be doing that, but I would like to learn a whole lot more about how to compose music properly. Music career, kind of. I've talked to him about just becoming a music teacher, getting my teacher's credentials. Not diving too much into detail about that, but it's a high.
Welcome back to KOCT's High School Spectrum, the EC Takeover. I'm arts producer Itzel Mesa Ruiz.
And I'm arts editor and reporter Jessie Espino.
Here in studio today, we have Italian exchange student Caterina Pesce, here to talk to us about her experiences here in the United States. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. Was the U.S. anything like you imagined?
Well, yeah. On a certain extent, of course, watching movies about California especially, I was expecting that. I knew it wasn't reality, of course. But yeah, I did encounter some differences, instead of like what I imagined, of course. Like I knew that there were cultural differences, and that's what I expected and I found here, of course, because of like everyone has different backgrounds. It's such a big country with such big differences between different states, and but I think that I didn't expect such a big difference between like the American mentality and like the European mentality, or personally the Italian mentality. Like the lifestyles are very similar because of globalization. Obviously, like we live like you guys do, of course, but maybe we think a little bit different. Like I knew Americans were a little bit more individualistic, but I wasn't expecting. I thought that I could generalize when I came back to Italy, maybe say something about like Americans act this way or this other way, and I don't think that's really the case. I think that each U.S. citizen has their own personal interests that make them an individual, and that's what I think makes, when I'm talking about individuality and like individualism, that's what I mean, I think. And for example, education-wise, I did know how like American school was structured, and this like what I am experiencing is what I was expecting. But I now really understand like why your mentality is different. Again, like the way of teaching is more deductive. You need to learn skills that you'll apply, so it's more practical than like Italian schooling, I think. So that's one thing for sure.
Like going back to like the different mentality, was it like kind of a shock to like have fun out here because it's like different like than it is in Italy?
It wasn't a shock, but I definitely had to learn how to live with it, because there's way less independency, maybe. Like I'm way less independent because of like, for example, public transport, and that plays a role in like socializing and stuff. So I guess everyone, like teenagers work too, so they're pretty busy. They're busier than European teenagers, I think. So that was something to take into consideration. And yeah, well, I think there's more distance and protection like between people, not necessarily in a bad way, not necessarily in a good way either. Everyone has their room, their space, and that impacts like how you socially like interact, of course. There's more respect of boundaries, maybe.
Well, I know you also are like a part of track. Do you find that like you have a community like there? I know, because you said you briefly struggle with like sometimes socializing because of the transportation. So could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, definitely. That changed my whole experience for sure, because obviously coming here, I was looking also for some structure from something to build like a life for a year, of course, and track is an activity that of course takes time, like free time off, of course, so you have something to do, something to engage in, and of course, obviously, like you start some friendships, there's a lot of support. For example, in at senior night, or I guess senior day for track, my host family couldn't make it and couldn't walk me, so my trainer, or the school trainer, walked me, and she was really nice. And it was like, I think it's symbolic of like how independently from anything there's a community, of course. You're doing something together.
And thank you so much for sharing with us. It really is interesting to learn about like the different experiences people have here in the U.S.
I know. I'm excited for new experiences like when I head to USC in the fall.
and I know you will be absolutely amazing and incredible.
All right, thanks, Jesse. You know what else is also amazing? The awesome students of EC, like Cooper Ferguson, who started his own clothing brand.
Let's check him out.
Skaters definitely have their own style, and no one knows that more than EC Junior and clothing entrepreneur Cooper Ferguson.
About 2 years ago, I started during the pandemic. I'd always been kind of interested in clothes, so I want to say 13 or about to turn 14 when I started making clothes, and I thought that was kind of a step in the right direction. The name and the logo just felt really fitting and the right choice. I'm just glad it kind of ended up here. Like, not because I'm at the end of the road and making things and it's the best it can be, but more so because I know that at least Cross, under that name, is at least what I want to keep doing things under. I see the brand. I almost don't like using the brand, saying brand, because I feel like it's just an extension of myself. It's just, my clothing are just, you know, pieces of me almost. Continues to develop with me, and my goal is to do fashion for my life.
At El Camino High School, art is the biggest way us Wildcats show our school spirit. This is Natalia Canchon setting it back to the studio.
Welcome back to KOCT's High School Spectrum, the EC Takeover Edition. I'm Tendai Mavima, producer of the new EC TV segment, The Prowl. We're bringing a little humor in by bringing in our very own local legend, Wiley the Wildcat. So Wiley, I have a few questions for you. So this is kind of like an in-scope interview. What type of activities do you undergo as a mascot? What would you say is your favorite cheer or stunt move that you have to do? Okay, what is practice like? What kind of preparation does it take to become a mascot? Like, you know, before you get into the role, like, what do you have to do to prepare? Okay, what is your favorite sport to cheer for? What is your least favorite sport to cheer for? How do you keep your energy so high during, like, the games? Now, this is the big final question that everybody has been thinking about asking. What does it take to become the mascot? Well, I guess it's a secret, you guys. Thank you for coming, Wiley. That was our interview with the Wildcat. Now we're going to throw it to our reporters, David and Grayson, for some questionable questions.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of ECTV's On the Prowl, and today we got a special edition. We're going to be going around at lunch and seeing if we can find some hidden talents. Let's go. Okay, so today I'm here with
Kuzwai Omoyo, Luke, Leo, Ethan Kerrigan,
Taylor, Abel Wagner,
Felipe,
Jack Oppen.
What is your hidden talent?
I can make bird noises. I can curve my tongue into a taco. Parkour and flipping. I can break my arm. I can do the worm. Seer.
I think it'd be better if I just showed you.
Okay, let's hear some. Dang! Yo, who is this? Sorry.
Hit it right here.
Oh, say, can you see?
Okay.
By the dawn's early light.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so proudly we hail.
Dang! That's actually weird. Oh my gosh.
And the rock is red.
Okay, I think that was good. Thank you.
In the land of the free, in the home of the brave.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Well, there you have it, guys. This has been another episode of ECTV's On the Prowl. And as you can see, we all have hidden talents inside of us.
Welcome back, everyone.
Thank you so much to the whole KOCT team and especially Carly and Linda. It's been such a great day.
That's for sure. This has been Eric Valencia.
And Natalia Canchon.
High School Spectrum,
Out.